starved children, the pictures of starved children are turned out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave the
guy's just lying through his teeth saying that, oh, there's no starvation, those kids had cerebral palsy. But we know that cerebral palsy doesn't emaciate children.
Emaciated, and Israel is, of course, accused of starving children, pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood.
Can you
so, you know, what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge?
Oh my God, he's telling us about how the lies are spread. The liar in chief is telling us the nature of how lies spread. Thank you, noted.
You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the...
God, I hate his smug face, man. And he's just getting away with murder. And he never has to change. He's just lying his way through it. It's just he thinks he's so smooth. He's a little turd, but...
The algorithms and the social networks, this is a big challenge. You know, the deception, the lies, the starved children, the pictures of starved children are turned out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that...
Yeah, this is him saying, this was the video of him saying like, oh, the lies are spreading too bad. We're going to have to do something about that. We're going to have to start changing social media. Right? It's because the truth is starting to come out. Yeah, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Harakhakwadash, and double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Yeah, this man is at his end. And he's no longer being able to control the narrative. The Lord, let's see, that in October 7th was, first of all, October 7th was planned. It was an excuse to attack. You understand? It was an excuse to attack because, like I said, one name, look up Albert Pike. Okay, old Amalekite, before the 1900s, they wrote out how they're going to start 3 world wars, the third war ending in the against the Islamic nations. The goal to try to take over the land, because the goal has always been to try to take back the blessing that he had given up to his younger brother Jacob. Esau gave up to his younger brother Jacob. And ever since, he's been plotting to try to steal it back. That's what this whole quote unquote war is about. Whatever happened on October 2nd was just an excuse to launch an attack. That's what it was. And they believe, okay, this is how dangerous the truth is to these people. Okay, they believe that they were by now going to be done. They honestly believe that, and they believe that they could spin the narrative to force and to cause people in the world to believe them no matter what, and to assist them. They thought people were going to try to assist them, and they thought that by now they would be finished. But the Lord is working against them. So they're losing their power grip. Now, common sense, you would say from that end is for them to stop, right? Because they're not losing anything. They've only killed hundreds of thousands of people, but they can't stop. Because the plan is to take the whole landmass over, but because they're not having success, they can't stop. Because if they stop, then they will have to recreate another October 7th, because that's what the whole thing is about anyway. So when he says, oh, we have to shorten the war, meaning we have to do more killing, we have to move faster. They're saying that because, look, putting down the sword is not an option. Okay, this man of wicked, this man of sin is being revealed. This is not about no retaliation. This is about bloodshed. This is about covetousness. This is about, and if you know the truth, we who know the truth, we know what this is. This is him trying to take the birthright from Jacob, because the birthright, when you go to the scriptures, the birthright that was promised to Abraham was more than just that land. Let's see. The book of Genesis. Okay, I think it's chapter 15. The book of Genesis 15, verse 13. And he said to Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy father's house in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord Yahweh made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites, the Hinnites, and the Kadmoites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. So our land was more than just the land of Israel. But, I mean, let me see if I could pull it up. All right, so I just typed in Abraham's promised land, right? So this is the land that Abraham was promised. And as you can see, it's more than just Israel, but it's this whole land mass that was promised, you see? That's what they want. That's why the quote unquote war was initiated.
Accused me of what we do.
So, what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war.
This is a big cope from him. He's telling us that Israel can't survive the internet iPhone age.
As speedily as possible.
The cat is out of the bag. The genie's out of the bottle.
And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge. I don't want to dismiss it. It's very.
Yeah. So there he says it about the algorithms. We have to do something about the algorithms. And then they are. They're definitely doing something about the algorithms. In fact, they're employing, former IDF instructors, for example, to head the censorship departments for some of these social media companies.
Oh, yeah. You see, the truth is too hard to bear, too much to bear. And now, for years we was able to control the narrative. But now, because of the truth spreading like a wildfire, we can't control this anymore. And if you know anything about these Edomites, they despise the truth. Okay, they're an enemy to the truth. So what happens when the truth starts to just become common knowledge? They're in trouble. Psalms 144:11. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is the right hand of falsehood. Now, when the Lord talks about his right hand, he's talking about his strength. A lot of times in the scriptures, right and left have symbolic meanings, right? That don't mean every time you see the word left, it means there's some wrong. No, because like it says, wisdom in her hand, one in her right hand is life and riches, and the left hand, understanding, etc. But a lot of times when they talk about the right hand, right, just like the son, Yahweh Shai, he's sitting on the right hand side of the Father, symbolize righteousness and his strength. So these wicked, their strength, right, their right hand is falsehood, is lies, is deception. It's all about deception. That's their strength, right? The lies. But guess what? Guess what's stronger than the lies? The truth. And now that the Lord is raising up the truth, what happens when the truth starts to overwhelm them? Simple, two things are going to happen. He's going to use the only tactics he knows. More oppression, more silence. Okay, these devils are working around the clock to suppress the free speech, push deception.
So you support.
Push more deception. And in the ultimate end, they're going to write it into law. The ultimate end, they will write it into law. Isaiah 10, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. You see, and what's always going to be one of those things that they're going to write into law to prevent the truth from being aired out. This is one of their methods. It's going to boil down to them saying anybody who calls himself an Israelite is quote unquote anti-Semitic, and they have to be dealt with, and they are deemed just as dangerous as quote unquote terrorists, they're Hamas supporters, everything they're going to say. So you're going to have a lot of Israelites that's going to try to speak and defend themselves and say, no, we're not this, we're not that. We got proof we're not this. We got proof that we're not these people, and we got proof. Look, we pick up trash, right? We give back to communities. We got proof, and the devil's not gonna care. He's not gonna care. Just read what happened to Yahushua, and you'll realize in the disciples that the elect don't get a fair trial in this wicked ass society, not even amongst their own people. All right. Great Millstone. Everybody loves to jump on Great Millstone and to slander. Okay. And to say these things where they know it's not true, but they'll do these things because they say, you know, who's gonna stand up? Who's gonna stand up for y'all? We could just label y'all all manner of evil anytime we want, and put the blame on y'all for degeneracy or whatever that happens in Israel, even though it had nothing to do with us. But that's the same thing that happened to Yahushua. This is how we know that we're in the right stead. But just with that alone, we understand that all we can do is just speak the truth, and the truth is going to make it evident of who he's dealing with, just like it did Yahushua, like it did with Yahushua and the disciples. And in the end, you shall know who his chosen are. But these guys who think that in the end they could just explain to the devil and show like, oh, we're different from them, or we're different, the devil not going to care. He's coming to deal with you as well. But as he said, Maccabees 1, First Maccabees 1, verse 41, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So what did he do? He wrote it into law. No more doing righteousness, no more establishing truth. Now it's time to do evil. It's time to be like us. So that's what they do. They write it into law.
Images of Jews being burned. You feel good about yourself? Palestine always.
So this is an Israeli, or it's a pro-Israel douche making content, and he's trying to convince young people on the streets of America that Israel is the victim, watching young people's reaction to their attempts of brainwashing. Israel lost definitively the narrative and lost the younger generations forever. What has been seen cannot be unseen. Israel lost completely the world's love and respect, even if the elite supports them. The people will never forget what Israel did and is still doing. So true. So, yeah.
Very true. And this is how you know we are at the end, because if it's one thing this devil will not tolerate is the truth, okay, being spread. That you got to understand exactly how wicked the society is. It is literally established upon lies. All right. The scripture says this isn't a flesh and blood thing. It's not. This is spiritual warfare. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we're battling. This is a battle of truth. When our videos get taken down or get censored, we understand that, oh man, why you picking on me? Here it is. My video would get 2 views, but because I said the word vaccine, oh, it got to be taken down. But let somebody else, somebody could be a doctor or whatever on YouTube, get 50,000 views. He could say the same thing about how it's questionable and not safe, but his video could stay up. Because we understand, well, the difference is we're using the Bible. We're using the truth, which is very dangerous. This is where the power is. Verse 13, because he says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that you may be able to stand against the evil day, having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and the helmet of salvation, and the spirit, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. The word of Yahweh, which is the word of truth. This is his sword. The truth is, you guys you're the wicked that the Bible speaks of. You Edomites, and you're from the tribe of Amalek. Truth is, you're the wicked. Truth is, you are not Jacob. So your excuse for using the Lord and for trying to say blotting out Egypt and the blessing, you're not those people. But you understand they established the entire world based upon that lie. And what happens when that lie starts to get chipped away more and more and the truth starts to be revealed? What happens when they can no longer maintain the narrative of lies? Simple, they start to spaz out. I saw a video where they're trying to, Maryland, or was it Milwaukee, but they're trying to force kids to learn. They're trying to force is not really history in schools now, and force the flag to be flew over the schools. These are the things they're resorting to. You must believe us. You must support us. We are the victims. They only know two options, man. All they know how to do is play victim. Okay? Should I say three? Here's the tactics. Play victim, put it in the law, and the final end, war. Final end is to pull out the sword. That's when all else fails. They're gonna pull out the sword. You understand?
Yeah, he's like, well, you love Israel, right? No, actually, free Palestine. Oh, so you support terrorism?
Support terrorism? I support Palestine. Thank you, bro. You think Zionists should be killed?
Thank you, bro. I don't want to.
Yes. Oh, wow. All right, great.
You think Zionists should be killed in the streets? He goes, yes. Great. FBI, look into this.
Yeah, that's exactly how vocab is, because they have one tactic. When you speak the truth regarding them, they're going to resort to the same things. Was Hitler a bad person? And that's how it is. Either you support us or you support Hamas. You support terrorism, whatever it is. And it's not working anymore. What happens when people stop caring about and not afraid to say, man, look, I ain't worried about that. Like that guy said, he's like, yeah, I think the Zionists, I think they need to be dealt with. Oh, I can't believe you said that. Government, he said it. He actually said it. Right? The fear tactics. That's all vocab is trying to do. Vocab Malone, because he's an Amalekite himself, and his tactics are the exact same. If you try to speak the truth, right, and you try to use the Bible to say, well, let's deal with the Bible and let's deal with prophecy. Was 1948 really a fulfillment of prophecy? How about the scriptures? Why is it that in that land they allow the biggest gays parade in the world, when they're supposed to be the so-called holy people? Why is it that they deny the Messiah above all, and they're supposed to be? You try to talk about that, he's gonna say, oh, why do you hate Jews? Did you hate? Was Hitler a bad person? That's the tactic they have to use to try to direct the focus of the people's attention, okay, to not deal with the truth, just deal with the fact that, oh, what he said, he hates. He's a hate person. Don't listen to anything he says. He hates us. But what happens when all that starts to fade? I'm going to tell you what happens. They start to lose power, and they're going to resort to one thing, the sword.
Mom, Dad, Elon, FBI, look into this. Who is that guy?
Hey, FBI, look into this motherfucker. Hamas footage from October 7th.
Oh, wow, dude.
Look what they're doing.
Hamas.com. Free Palestine. Fuck Israel. Free Palestine. Hamas.
Israel with your whole
We love
chest.
what you're doing. We love what you're doing.
Out of
You're
here.
gonna keep doing
All
it.
the people the IDF killed. No. Look at all the people they killed.
If they're killing Israelis, I don't care. Free Palestine.
That's how you want to end this? Free Palestine. Free Palestine in front of this image of dead Jews. Really?
Free Palestine.
Really? Free Palestine in
Free
front of these
Palestine.
images of two Jews that were killed.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine till I
In
die.
front of this
Yes.
image
Free
of dead
Palestine.
Jews.
Free
Do you know how
Palestine.
that makes you look on camera?
Zionists, inbred idiots. I don't care what a settler has to say.
Anti-Semitic.
It's against the state of Israel. Zionism is a settler, white supremacist state.
Are you anti-Israel?
I am.
Okay.
Oh my God, my feelings are hurt now. I can't believe that you didn't say the thing that I wanted you to say. I got dressed, I put on this spiffy coat and these short shorts, and now you're hurting my feelings.
Hamas.com. Free Palestine.
Hamas.com. Can you believe that these Israelis created a...
Yeah. Look at the extent that they're going to try to maintain the victim in the eyes of the people. We're the victim, guys. Look at these pictures. If it's one thing, because they are Cain reincarnated, and Cain had that same spirit. When the Lord said, I'm going to mark you, and the whole world's going to know who you are. Oh, woe is me. You just slew your own brother. You know, they got phrases out there regarding to them Israelite the is not reallys. They'll say like the so-called the is not really will strike you and cry in pain. They will cry in pain as they strike you. That means they're a victim. That's how you know they're Cain and Lamech. And another phrase out there says to the is not really, nothing can be more insulting than the truth. And man, that's the truth. To tell the truth to them, to them is fighting words. Cause man, it's over for them, man. First Ezra 4:35. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. All the earth calleth upon the truth, and the heaven blessed it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. And you know who's part of that work? The wicked, whose right hand is falsehood. They tremble at the truth. 37. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked. Women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked. And such are all their wicked devices, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they perish. As for the truth, it endureth, and it is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And all men will like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness. She is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all things. Blessed be the God of truth. Truth. Isaiah 16:5. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging, seeking judgment, hasting righteousness. Psalms 146:6. Verse 5. Happy is he that hath the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is the Lord Yahweh his God, which made heaven and earth and sea and all therein, which keepeth truth forever. Truth. That's what these Edomites don't like. What happens when the truth becomes the narrative? It's over for them. They shrivel up, they shrink. Okay. Yahweh Shai is the beacon of truth, the beacon of light. And he said, what? The whole world is full of darkness. And they hate him because he is the light. Just like a bunch of rats when they don't like the light because it hurts their eyes and they have fewer places to hide. These are the things that they will do to try to maintain a narrative. Whereas the truth don't need to do all that. You don't need to hire people to go around and have video and make a website and all these things to try to maintain your position that you're the victims. You don't have to, the truth don't have to do that. The truth needs not lies. The truth stands alone. And this is what happens when you're right. When you're at the right hand of falsehood, this is the extent they will go to maintain those lies. And in the end, when they see, because he typed the video, he said they have lost the crowd. They lost the crowd. In the end, when they lose, they're going to resort to that last option, which is the sword. Violence. Pass it in the law. Shut down the video. Shut down YouTube. Anybody who speaks the truth needs to be shut down. This is why we say we don't have that much time on YouTube either. We don't have that much time. They already put it in the system. They got the groundwork for it, right? To say, oh, you might need to show your ID to do certain things. Like right now, you can, just show your ID and there's no big deal, just restrict it. But eventually we know it's going to get to a point where they're going to require ID to do any uploads. We know that. So to run a channel, to do uploads, you're going to have to show, which means our time on YouTube is over. And why is that? So they can monitor anybody who speaks against what we're saying, that we're the victims, or speaks the truth or call themselves an Israelite. We're coming to get you. The famine of the word is here. Well, it's coming here, shall I say. I ain't gonna say it's here, but it's definitely on the rise. You know, the truth is too much. It's dangerous to the society that's established upon lies. Let's just talk about the moon landing. What will happen if that becomes a topic of discussion? It's over. And you want to know why they went to that extent to lie back in 1969? Because they truly did believe that they thought they were going to be able to achieve that in a shorter period of time. We're going to find a way to get up there. It don't matter. We can lie. We can act. We want to be the first one. We want to say America did it. So they staged a green screen production to convince the world they did something because they honestly thought that they would go. And what people don't realize, it wasn't no one time. They tell you that from 1969 to 1972, they went back and forth several times. Oh, he went up there and he dropped a pin and you saw how fast the pin dropped. So we could calculate that. If you drop a pin on the moon, it goes this fast, that fast. And they went back to get this artifact, this rock, that rock discovered. Ain't did shit. But here we are, well over 50 years later. And what are they doing? Keeping it on the hush because they thought they were going to have time. But what does Isaiah 44:24 says? Thus said the Lord Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars. What are the tokens of the liars? The devices, the deception, their propaganda. He says, and make diviners mad. Because you got to remember, these people who do these things are trying to cheat fate. They're trying to cheat or alter the future or history or whatever. He says that turneth wise men backward and maketh their knowledge foolish. So the Lord has a way to fight against thee. And the Lord is against thee, O Mount Seir, as he says in Ezekiel 35. So when they did, right, October 7th, they believe we'll be done by now. But here we are going on almost a full year. They have failed. Yeah, they're doing more killing than ever, but they have lost the narrative. They have lost the victimhood cloak. The cloak of anything has been more revealed. They've revealed themselves even more. They have lost the narrative. They have lost the crowd. They have lost the nations. They're losing trade deals. They're losing respect. Trump said to Ireland and I think another country, don't you dare think about not supporting Israel anymore. We'll come over there. These are the things they have to do now. And it could easily, the devil could easily stop, but he's not going to do that. Because if he stops, then he has to come up with another excuse. So he's frustrated. Why? Because Yahweh Hashai is against him. So what's going to happen in the ultimate end? He's going to pull out this sword, man. This devil don't like the truth. That's how you know we at almost at the end. That's why, when we tell Israelites who want to focus on the community or whatever, what you got to realize, these guys who want to reinvent themselves and make this debate, that debate. Bottom line is they don't realize they simply just do not have the time that they think that they have. Which is why the Lord said the day is going to come upon them as a thief. That's talking about Israelites who actually know, because they're not looking. Just because they're Israelites, they're not looking. They don't realize that this man is backed into a corner. Look, Trump is suspected of passing soon, or his health is bad. After all that shit, he talked about Biden's health. He's getting mocked now in his health. You got to remember, a lot of these devils, they're all up in age. Him, the gates of hell. They lost one of the Rockefellers. They lost one of the Rothschilds, David. I think both for each one. They're getting up in age. They want to see this come into play, which means they're going to put move things fast in motion. If Trump thinks he's going to leave this earth, what do you think he's going to do to the people on here? You think he's just going to go quietly? No, he's coming down with wrath, man. This is why we say we don't have much time. And if you all don't think that, just know that day is going to come upon you as a thief. You don't understand the position of the wicked. You don't understand what's happening and what he's resorting to. You understand that he's going to eventually put in a law to shut down the truth, shut down YouTube, shut down the internet. Anybody who calls himself Israelite will be attacked. So these are the things that he's working on. So what are the things that you should be focused on? Watching the prophecies. And if you're too distracted by anything else, That day is going to overtake you as a thief. Shalom.